In the studio, Mr. Sango, who's a social commentator. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We also expect a political analyst and a public analyst to join us in the course of this segment. Yes, Mr. Sango, let's begin with your reaction when you heard the president's call for this conference, bearing in mind that the government has always rebuffed any calls for a conference, whether sovereign or otherwise, in the last how many years?
Well, first and foremost, before stating my reaction, I'd like to state that I'm not just an activist, or what did you introduce?
A social commentator.
I'm not just a social commentator. I've been a socialist activist for several years.
Comrade.
Well, a member and leader of Democratic Socialist Movement, and currently the pro-tem chairperson of Socialist Party of Nigeria.
Okay.
The reason why I've made that
Pro-tem
national chairperson
okay.
of Socialist Party of Nigeria. And from there I can take my take. When I got the invitation to appear for this discussion, my initial reaction was, what is there to be discussed? But media organizations like you deal with the moment. And definitely the Sovereign National Conference, or conference as it's been called, is one of the most topical issues of the day. But from we in the Socialist Party of Nigeria, we look at it differently. That is it this not another motion without movement? Because very often people forget our winners past in this country. Under Abacha, he did a conference which he called conference with full constituent power, whatever that means. Obasanjo did another conference, all of them into the garbage today. Now, Jonathan has come up with another conference agenda. So when I looked at all this, I didn't want to come. But I came principally to lend a voice to the fact that, yes, Nigeria actually needs a truly democratic, sovereign national conference. The reasons are very obvious. In just about 100 days from today, Nigeria will be 100 years old as a corporate entity. When it was constituted as one country, 100 days from now, Nigeria will be 100 years. But when you look at the history of Nigeria since all this period, it had always been an history of rigmarole by the ruling elite. To start with, of course, the various components, nationalities, and groups that make up Nigeria have existed for centuries, if not thousands of years, before the British colonialism constituted Nigeria as a corporate entity 100 years ago. How was Nigeria constituted? There was neither discussion, whether democratic or undemocratic, discussion whether with the leaders or with the led, of the various segments of Nigerians that we want to build a country.
Okay, so are you saying that Nigeria is desperately in need of a conference, whether it's sovereign or just simply national?
Nigeria needs a genuine discussion, democratic discussion.
When you say genuine, what are you saying the one that's being discussed by a panel or a committee set up by Mr. President now is not likely to give a genuine one?
It's another journey to nowhere. In the first instance, if you set up a committee of whatever, it's not backed by any law. whatsoever. So what will be the outcome, the value of what they are going to discuss? There is no law backing the setup, mere presidential pronouncements in a country where there is a subsistence constitution. So at the end of the day, well, I know the government tank criers will say, well, they can be submitted to National Assembly. Even if that were to be the case, how many decades would that take us to get the National Assembly to implement this thing?
So that being the case then, we don't know when this will happen. The president has not put a timeline to when the conference itself will happen. And do you think we should have some amount of trust that there is good intention in what the president has put together?
We in the Socialist Party of Nigeria do not have any iota of confidence in the ruling capitalist government at federal and state level. They have no pedigree upon which people can say, we are investing trust in them. Are you not absurd? Don't you feel absurd that a country prodigiously rich in human and natural resources like Nigeria, we are not there on any template of civilization? You cannot talk of, if you cannot talk of Nigeria and mention education and talk of us in education area, you cannot talk of roads, you cannot talk of electricity, you cannot talk of jobs.
We have human resources.
We have abundant human resources.
So we can talk about us in one area.
Abundant human resources, wasting. Abundant natural resources, wasting. And yet, all these elements that are just interested in perpetuating their rule in power keep on throwing one banana in the form of dialogue or discussion from time to time. We are not going to get anywhere with this kind of rigmarole. That's what my template is, that Nigerians collectively, we need a forum for frank talk, discussion, renegotiation. And let me state it abundantly clear that we in the Socialist Party of Nigeria, we are for united Nigeria. We are for maintaining Nigeria as a united entity. But we do not join the bandwagon of those that say Nigerian unity is non-negotiable, is non-discussable. That is silly. Because when Nigeria was created, it was created arbitrarily by British colonialists.
So should we then
for their own economic
dismantle or dismember it?
That is what Nigerians collectively should do democratically, not by hand-picked panel and things like that. Obasanjo did a conference, 400 members, they were all appointed. If you put something on nothing, it will not stand.
Okay.
Okay.